rocking? Is that 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 rocking? Is that
Ain't nothing in this world that's stopping me. My Rari outruns your Odyssey. I broke it off cause I'm not settling. I gotta get for the lip on a trip ketamine. Yeah, it's like that, I'm in your girl's missions. Yeah, it's like that, she got good dimensions. I'm balling, they pay me attention. Going up hydraulic suspension.
Hello, welcome to Metaverse Degen. I'm Lion.
I'm Old Man Raptor, and our guest is. That would be
I
you,
guess
sir.
it's me. Yeah, Lanzor Roznal. Or
Hey, there you
DJ
go.
Lance, which is like the name. I don't know. I'm still trying to come up with a good DJ name. But I guess DJ Lance is a good start. That's what I've been going by so
All
far.
right.
Hey.
Okay, DJ Lance. Welcome to the Nut Hut of the Having Fun and Raising Hell, and we appreciate you being here.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, wonderful to be here.
So, what is it you do here in VR? Or
Well, let's see. I do a lot of things. For one, I DJ, you know. Secondly, I mostly don't have a lot of things to do in VR chat, honestly, other than DJing. Usually I just use VR chat to just like roam around and spend time with friends. Other than that, yeah, that's about it. It's kind of interesting, you know.
So, what got you into being a DJ?
Well, that's an interesting story. It's actually a pretty long story,
Hey,
honestly.
let's hear it.
So, well, let's hear it.
Throw it out
All
there.
right, so interestingly, I never started out with the idea of, you know what, I'm gonna be a DJ. I'm gonna squib a dub dub. No, actually, it's a lot sillier than that. This started a few years ago. I can't remember the exact year. I think around 2017, 2018, somewhere around that period, right? I used to play CS:GO. And I know that's like really detached, but we'll get there. And in CS:GO, you know, there were players who would be spamming music through their mics. And, you know, it's pretty annoying at first, but it got to a point that I was really curious on how they were doing it. And eventually I started hearing people playing music that sounded pretty good, like audio quality wise. You know, it wasn't all through the mic, you know? You could tell there was some hardware to it. And so once I figured out you could use software to DJ within CS:GO, I decided to, what's the word? I guess I took it up myself, you know. I decided, you know what, we got a lot of people playing music in CS:GO. I'm gonna do that too. I'm gonna be the music guy. And so I did that. The thing is though, I don't really listen to a lot of music. Like, yeah, a lot of the music I listen to is pretty old. It's stuff from the 20s, 40s, 50s. I like, you know, folk music, classical music, stuff like that. The only thing that I really could play that could appeal to like the CS:GO crowd would be jazz. And I love jazz. So, you know what? I decided, you know, let's go with that. And so I just started putting in my library into the audio software and I would just stream jazz for everyone there. Now, you know, of course, it does annoy some people, but I did find a very interesting thing. I discovered that when it came to playing jazz for people within CS:GO, it actually made the environments much less toxic, much more amiable, and overall the environment got a lot better. Like I'm pretty sure everyone here knows what your typical FPS lobby looks like.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
it's pretty crazy. Yeah, but I
Uh-huh.
discovered that on average, when you're playing jazz, it really, really drops down in the saltiness and actually starts becoming really amiable.
Hmm.
People were really a lot more respectful. They were more social, more talkative, more gentle. A lot of wonderful things. And I started it off as a joke, but after I saw that there really was a real influence on jazz and people, I decided to keep going, and I kept expanding my music library just for that sole purpose. Now, of course, every now and then I would play a meme song here and there for fun. Like if my team was losing, I would play some inspirational music or, some Fortunate Son, things like that. But other than that, I would keep it to jazz most of the time, and I would see good results like that. I did that for a while, probably for a few months. In fact, a lot of the library I use now for most of my DJ events is leftovers from those days. So those same files people hear at the Jazz Lounge events, uh, there's a very high chance it was used during the CS:GO days. Or the only difference is maybe I may have upgraded the audio files. You learn to use FLAC or WAV and not MP3s. But yeah, it's pretty good. So I eventually had to give it up though, because at another point, Steam started implementing VAC bans if you got muted too much. And well, the thing is, when you're DJing in CS:GO, well, you get muted a lot. So statistically speaking, it was only a matter of time before I get muted so many times. I'm gonna end up VAC banned, and I really, I got some games on my Steam account. I didn't want to get banned, and so I just stopped doing that. I stopped playing on CS:GO. Well, I stopped DJing on CS:GO, but that kind of led me to stop playing CS:GO because the only reason I ever played CS:GO was to DJ. And I think that was the very first thing that kind of woke me up to wanting to DJ was that I was playing CS:GO, not for CS:GO's sake, but to DJ.
Hmm.
Just, And so yeah, I dropped it all completely for a long while. I picked up other hobbies, did other things. And overall, I think that my whole DJ career kind of ended there for a while. All right, so now we have to jump forward a few years. Oh, my throat's getting dry. um, let's see. So around, I believe, it's last year. About Yeah, it's last year, 2022, early 2022. I would get sick with infectious mononucleus, right?
Hmm.
And that got me really bad. I was in bed for most of the year, and it gets really lonely when you're sick in bed and you really can't do much. You can't really talk, can't really move around. You're in constant pain, having a hard time breathing. You're constantly choking when you got mono. Um, it wasn't a good experience. And so during that time, I would do a lot of reading. I would listen to a lot of things to try to pass the time, try to stay sane. Um, but the unfortunate thing is I really couldn't find what I wanted. I really wanted like a talk show live stream that played jazz, very smooth, mellow kind of show. That's what I really wanted. I know it's really weird that you envision a podcast and go, "That's what I want," and then go search for it because I think most people just find stuff they like and then stick to it. Whereas I was going reverse. I said, I really want a show like a live stream guy that plays jazz and I get to listen in live.
Hmm.
Kind of oldie, you know, talk show type vibes. That's
Hmm.
what I really wanted to listen to, especially in late nights. So I went and so here's the thing. So I went searching for that, and in my search, I found an app called Spoon. I don't know. You probably have seen like the trailers on YouTube. I don't know if they play them anymore. I haven't seen any ads for Spoon in a long time. But Spoon's like this audio streaming service. It's supposed to like be competing with Twitch, but it's like pure audio. It's no visuals. It's just audio. And it marketed itself as being, for feeling lonely, can't sleep, come to Spoon and listen to soothing blah blah blahs or whatever, talk with people. It marketed itself as being a really soothing thing for people with can't sleep. And well, I can't sleep, so I'll go join Spoon. And so I ended up downloading Spoon, made an account, did all that, roamed through Spoon, tried to find what I want, and nothing. It was all cringe. It was all like 15, 16-year-olds just posting cringe. Uh, it unironically is worse than the Twitch just chat live streams, you know? It was really bad. And so after a few months, after getting a little better where I could sit up and do things, out of pure spite, I created my own stream, which was the Jazz Lounge, where I talked with the audience and streamed jazz. Oh, excuse me. Um, and my goal in this wasn't really to get an audience. Rather, it was actually to get copycats. I was really hoping people would go like, "Hey, that Lanzor, he's got a jazz lounge. I should open a jazz lounge," you know, something like that. And then after they copied me, I could then jump away and go to their stream and like I get what I want. Now I have a talk show who plays jazz and he talks to the audience and nope, never happened. No one ever copied me. No one still hasn't copied me. It's been weird, you know?
Mm.
Well, I ended up getting quite a bit of a following on Spoon. It's nothing too big, you know? It's like only maybe 5 or 6 followers. But it was enough and consistent enough that I decided to keep going. And eventually I would migrate to Twitch. And on Twitch, I've been growing a little more as the Jazz Lounge. Uh, by the way, if you can find my Twitch at Lanzor_Roznal. Shameless plug moment. Um, let's see. So I started streaming on Twitch for a while, and you know it's the same old, and just streaming music through Voice Meter Banana of all things. It's a very crude setup. Uh, but after a while, my own audience they started calling me DJ Lands, and it was a term of affection.
Mm.
And so I thought, DJ Lands, that's interesting, you know? And so that planted the thought in my head of, maybe I could like go into DJing. I technically already am. I'm playing music for people. I'm watching the EQ bands and blah 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 blah, all that stuff. Um, so I ended up doing that. I ended up getting actual DJ software, learning how to use it. It made a big difference, honestly. A lot of things I wanted to do with my music but couldn't do before, I could finally do it now with DJ software, you know? I don't have the hardware yet, but, the first steps, first steps. Uh, what's the word? And so after that, I started using the DJ software and continued streaming on Twitch. The issue, though, the issue, it's kind of hard to grow a jazz lounge Twitch stream, you know? Um, I think you can say that for any stream. But I've been having a hard time growing the stream. And so that finally led me to thinking of ways I could branch out and try to get more people into my stream. I know it sounds like a very altruistic goal, but that's kind of the main turning point for me. So what I end up doing is I end up thinking, hey, I used to DJ in CS:GO. Why don't I do something like that again? Now, obviously, I can't go back to CS:GO. I don't want to get VEC banned. So I was thinking, where could I go? Where could I go where I could play music for people and they won't automatically ban me? And I thought, hey, VRchat. VRchat's where all the I better not say, but let's just say all the strange people are. Um, so I did that. I started. So my first attempt at VRChat was not actually the whole DJ scene. At the moment, I'm DJing at the 2VR conduit, the community section thing, right? That's usually where I'm located now. Before that, though, I would just go into open lobbies, open worlds, kind of like this one, and I would just go sit in a corner and just like DJ through my mic, just like the CS:GO days. 'Cause I'm using DJ software. And it was fun. It kind of worked. I've gotten a few followers that way. In fact, sometimes I'll even still busk now and then, just for the fun of it, and to test out some audio equipment and things like that. Uh, And this is where we finally get to the more present day features of the jazz lounge. I'm saying a lot. I better stop
It's all good.
that.
You're fine, man. You're
Indeed,
perfectly
so
fine.
I
You're
appreciate
perfectly
that.
fine.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, to resume our conversation and our status report. So I ended up busking at, I think it was the drinking club world,
Hmm.
midnight drinking club. I forget its name. I forget a lot of names. Uh, it's that it's always on trending, that club world where like the music's too loud, people are standing in front of the mirror. It's blue. It's that world. And I remember I went to busk in there. I went in like a corner room to busk, and there was one guy. He said something along the lines of, "Heh, you're a DJ. Why don't you get in the real DJ scene?" I mean, he didn't say it like that. He said it more politely, but you get the idea. Saying, "Hey, I see you're DJ. I see that you're trying to do this stuff. Have you ever thought of going to the VR chat club scene and blah blah blah?" I said, "No, I've never heard of that before. What is that?" Well, I kind of knew, but like, how do you get into that? And say, "Hey, I'll give you a Discord link," and then from that link, I would then go on to join some what's the word? I don't know what they're called officially. I guess the VR chat clubbing communities. Is that what they're called? I'm not sure.
You got it right.
All right,
You're
all
on
right.
the right page.
Thank you. All right,
Mm-hmm.
that's good. That's good. In that case, but yeah, that's how I first got started. Interestingly, the very, very first group I was in was one called the Tartarus,
Ah, yeah.
and from there I was able to jump into the other communities, and so that's how I got sprinkled in everywhere. Uh, so far, I've liked the Tube VR community the most, though. I really like their community system and the ability for DJs to use the borrowed VRCDN guest key. I think that's been very useful for myself and a lot of other DJs that are trying to get a little better in the clubbing community or just DJing in general. Because I don't think you can really label my music as clubbing music.
Well, not modern day
Uh,
clubbing music, but there are
Not
people
no,
who
not
modern
enjoy
day,
modern
it.
but
day.
at one time, you still got the
Uh,
people out there, the old folks. Won't mention any names.
Raptor.
Yeah, that listen to. Yeah.
yeah.
That do you listen to jazz? You got a lot of people still in your southerns that come in that
Uh,
if you get some of the old jazz and stuff like that, and you got to realize a lot of your jazz is where it brings it up to where we're at today. Even in some, am I lagging? No, we're not.
no, I'm not
Some of the
lagging. I'm
music,
just like
it was
moving
me.
around.
I was shaking. But
I get
some of your
scary when that
music,
happens.
some of the music and stuff like this, you got to realize if you didn't have every little bit of piece of music that was ever created, you wouldn't have what we have today. Think about it.
No, definitely not. You know,
Yeah.
I've always argued that Django Reinhardt's guitar skills that really does pave the way for a lot of guitar music we got today. If
You
you made it an
guys,
electric guitar, if you made it an electric guitar, you would everyone would say, "Yo, that guy's shredding."
Yeah.
It's
then,
Well,
it's
I've
great stuff.
I've heard from a lot of people that for example, metal and rock have roots into jazz
Right,
back in the
right.
day, years and years ago.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yep.
I would agree. I would agree. And I like I said, I think if you were to go look at someone like Django Reinhardt's guitar playing, I'm talking to the audience here.
Mm.
Definitely you'll see a lot of similarities, especially when it comes to shredding. It's great stuff. Great stuff.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yes. So to continue to kind of circle back and go back to the story. So I ended up joining quite a few of those communities, and I really didn't get a lot of attention at first. What happened was, I basically would say, "Hey, I'm DJ Lance coming straight from the DJ world." I don't know. Uh, honestly, I don't have an intro now that I think about it. I better come up with one. Usually, I just say, "Hello, I'm Lance," or I'm Lanzor. I do jazz. That's basically what I do. And I would basically try to, I went to a lot of different club owners, went to a lot of different people, and I'd say, hey, I'm a new and upcoming DJ. I'm really looking to, up my game and maybe play for a crowd. And I do jazz. Do you think you got a place for me? And everyone went, well, not me, but maybe you should go somewhere else if you want to play jazz. You know, like I've gotten a lot of different reactions. I've gotten some that have been really nice and some that have been really mean. It's yeah, jazz is hard to promote in the VR chat clubbing scene.
Hmm. Well,
Uh,
there's a genre of
let's see.
electronic music that may be right down your alley. Electro swing.
Oh, electro swing. Yes, I'm aware. But even then, the thing, like I said, my goal, it's partially, to play for people, right, and grow my stream. Those are the two main goals. However, the third goal is still an ideological goal,
Okay.
and that is, I really do want to smooth out the VR chat clubbing scene. I'll get to that subject in just a moment, but I do have electro swing, and I do play it, but I don't make it my main form of music for one important reason. However, I'll get into that reason a little later because I need to finish this section of
Hmm.
I guess, the story. Let's see. So eventually, I wandered around for a long time, just being told, "Yeah, we don't do jazz," over and over and over again. But I kept going, kept trying. And eventually I was led to go to the 2VR conduit and say, hey, they accept, guests, basically. And so I went there. They gave me, the ropes on how to do it. And yeah, I've been sticking there for that reason. They've been really good with me, and I've been doing my best to be good for them too.
Hmm.
The It's been fun, I'm really glad that the conduit exists for that reason, for people like me who are just starting and we really don't have a way to break into the clubbing scene.
Hmm.
Ah, I'm taking a moment to gather my thoughts.
It's okay.
So I thank you.
Don't
So I
worry,
would
I
play
pick mine up
as
off the floor all the time.
yes. All right, so I would play the conduit for a while, but I've even at the conduit, I've still kept going around asking, for sets and things like that. Um, One very interesting event that did occur was about a month ago or so. I was There was one DJ. Uh, he won't forgive me for this, but I can't remember his DJ name, unfortunately. If you're watching, I do apologize for that. But he was like setting up an open mic kind of deal, like, "Hey, we're looking for DJs to test their skills. We'll take anyone." And like, sounds like a job for me. And so I immediately joined up. And unfortunately, due to circumstances, they just canceled the whole night, and so no one got to play anything.
Hmm.
It was sad. It was a tactical loss. However, it was a strategic victory for me in the sense that I was able to meet some other DJs and make some contacts. And one of those contacts was Hunted Dubs, if I remember. I think that's
Hmm.
his name. Hunted Dubs. Well, I added him as a friend, and he like sent me to some other Discord servers. And I've been able to make a little more contacts there. Still the same deal, we don't do jazz. You should take your jazz somewhere else. Okay, it's not that mean, but it kind of, when you hear it over and over, it starts feeling a little mean. So I just roamed around there and continued asking. But the big pivot in all this is on April 1st at the Rave Till the Grave uh club. I think that's what they're called. We're just
Yep.
called clubs, right?
Yeah, Rave to the Grave.
Okay.
We've
I feel like it's a,
I know we've had a chance to
yeah,
talk with Bobby and Rave to the Grave, so that's what it
yeah,
is. Yep.
yeah. So they were able to give me a really big boost in my I guess in my fame. I don't know. There's another word I'm trying to think. Infamy? No, not infamy. Well,
Are
maybe
you a
it is
villain?
infamy.
They
Maybe.
they
Who
opened the
knows?
door. Another way of
I
saying it
did
is
say
you're trying to say They opened the door for you, is what it amounts
They
to.
did. They did open the door for me. The let's see. Okay, so they had the April Fools, set for April 1st, right?
Mhm.
And in the DJ chat, they pinged all the DJs and said, We're missing we're missing a slot. We need someone with a lot of meme music." And then I just stood up and I did like a Batman. I don't know if you've seen that scene, but like Batman stands up and he looks because the bat signal's open.
Yep.
Like that's basically what I did. Cause like yeah, I got a lot of meme music. In fact, I still have that set recorded. So if you go to my Mixcloud, which is Lanzor or Lanzor underscore Roznal, you can find that April 1st meme set I did, and I just had hours worth of memes. In fact, the actual event only called for 1 hour of meme music. I had 4 hours in my crate just ready for memes. And it was fun. That was really fun.
Hmm.
And here's the thing, I still played it half serious though. I still started off with my usual jazz setup, so people know that I'm the jazz guy. I play jazz, and you know, I kind of gave my typical repertoire, and then eased into insanity.
Hmm.
And that was fun. But that really did open up the door for me because a lot of people came in and saw that, and especially like some more bigger names, people with some more prestige to their names.
Hmm.
And so that was really good. That was really good. And after that, I seem to have gotten a little more people at the 2VR conduit. Uh, Not a lot. I like only get like 6 or 7 people now, but it's a lot better than when I was getting 0 or 1.
Hmm.
Uh, so yeah, I've been after that event. Things have been going a little more smoothly for me. I'm still growing. My last event, which was last week, that one had about, if I remember right, about 8 to 9 people. I think 10 at peak. I can't remember the exact number, but it was in that area.
Hmm.
That was really fun.
Hmm.
I think when it comes to the jazz lounge, as I call it, the best night I ever had was not even related to the jazz lounge. I was setting up an event for like a Discord dating server. We called it Love is War Rendezvous. Or Love is War Moonlight Rendezvous.
Hmm.
And that the idea was behind that was, hey, bring that special someone, come to the 2VR conduit, and bring that special someone or meet someone special, all under the moonlight with classics from Martin, Sinatra, Day, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You get the idea. This is kind of a mushy kind of advert. I kind of thought it was a little sappy. That event gave me the best. I had 18 people at peak, and that's not counting people that were coming in and out. That I really loved,
Hmm.
and I'm really hoping to someday get that number again. It would be really nice to see. Tomorrow I have the event at the 2VR conduit, so hopefully maybe I'll get that finally. We'll see.
So what's the event
And I
at
think that brings
Conduit
us up to date.
tomorrow?
Oh, it's just the jazz lounge with your host Lanzor Roznal. We're playing jazz and all that stuff.
Hmm.
Uh, when it comes to the jazz lounge, it's really more meant to be a social event than a clubbing event. I kind of want people to come in, meet people, make friends, chat, and all those other things. And what's the word? The music is meant to be the background. Like
Yeah.
for most DJ events, the music's the foreground, but I want to be the background. I want to be the background music to people's memories when they talk with friends, meet that special someone, or have heart to heart conversations. That's what I want. I want to make an environment like that.
Hmm. Well, I wish you the best of luck in that because it's unique. Not a lot of people are doing it.
Yeah, I know.
Big time.
And I think that brings me up to the second topic, which I was saving for later, and now I can bring it back now to kind of
Hmm.
cap this section. Though, let me take a drink of water right quick. 1 second.
Okay,
Oh,
folks, it's getting out.
my
It's
water's
getting
here
out the
somewhere.
hard stuff. It's not water,
No,
but
it's
it's water.
water.
I'm giving you a hard time. It's just water.
In Mother Russia,
No,
they
I'm a
call
teeter
vodka
toddler.
water.
Water, yeah. In his room, it's lemonade. Okay, it's not a problem.
No, I'm a
Oh, it
teeter
might be iced
toddler.
tea.
Don't
I
you
don't know.
worry. Oh, iced
It's
tea. Now
hot.
that I would love.
Mm.
Southerner and all that. We love our iced tea.
What part? No,
Okay.
are you way in the southern part?
Oh,
You
yes,
over
very
like
much so.
New Orleans and Georgia and those
No,
kind of places?
no, South Texas.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I'm real
South
far down
Texas,
south.
huh?
Yes, I
Oh,
walk
they
south
got
for
jazz
20
down
minutes.
there. They got jazz down
Yeah.
there.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but I guess the final reason for why I do all this is uh so I've said that VR chat I really only use it for DJing or just roaming around, right?
Mm.
And this comes back to the ideological uh part of my whole DJ sets and all that. So here's the thing you have to understand about me. For myself, I was born with many health issues.
Mm.
So the majority of my life, I've had to be indoors due to sickness, health, or whatever.
Mm.
I have to be indoors most of the time, and it's something I still struggle with health wise. It's one of the reasons why I got VR because I want to be able to go out more without having to be heavy risk for my health.
Mm.
And, you know, it's always pained me that VR chat's always marketed as VR chat, the place where dreams come true. You can do anything you want. And the thing is, what do I want? Me personally, I want to go out with friends. I want to go out to like really nice places and have heart-to-heart conversations. I want to go to like really fancy parties where there's jazz and like you meet really nice people and you go, "Oh, how do you do?" I want some really solemn, sober, amiable experiences.
Mm.
But it's really hard to get that in VR chat. Everyone's so crazy, everyone's so jokey, so satirical. I don't really feel any sense of peace, really. It just feels crazy. And like I understand, in public worlds, it's always expected no matter where you are. But even with friends or people you meet on VR chat, it's always so crazy. Uh it's hard. It's hard. Like I'm gonna be very honest, and this is no offense to anyone that I'm friends with here in VR chat, but I would say 90% of the people in on my personal friends list here in VR chat, they're great people, but they're not really people I would have really heart to heart conversations with. And not because of them or even me for that matter, but rather, I don't know, when people come here in VR chat, it's always insane. It's always absurdism. It's always satire, I guess. And I don't like the fast lane all the time, I think it's great that people can have that here in VR chat. I really think it's wonderful. It's great stuff to go crazy with your friends and, just be yourself in the most insane way. I do the same too. I'm not knocking it. However, another part of me is also the quiet part. And the other part of me is also someone who wants to come in and play chess and, talk about the things we fear or the things we love.
Mm.
But it never really happens because everything's so crazy. And like I said, one of my dreams is to go to like a really nice place with jazz and it's a nice little party, but it's not like a drinking party. It's a social party where people come in, talk, and it's socialite. Something you would envision of a 1960s uh what's the word? Upper class party? I don't know. I think you get the idea though.
Mm.
And yet that doesn't exist in VR chat. I can't find it. You can find like a billion raves, but you can't find one jazz event. In fact, I'll be even more honest. I can't even find a country event or a classical music event. I can't find those things. It's always a dubstep or techno or whatever. Like it's not really the place where you can get anything you want. I've been wanting those things for years now, and I have not found it. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but
Mm.
I haven't found it. It's not very easy to find. Whereas with everything else, it's much easier to find. And so this comes back to my ideological purposes of my music. I'm really hoping of creating an atmosphere where for people like me who really do want more social, quieter events, something for people that really don't want to go crazy. They want to wind down. In fact, that is the only slogan I do consistently have is that most DJs are there to hype you up. Well, I want to be someone that winds you down because let's see. I want to be there for the people who had a long day at work or have had a rough week and they just want to relax. They don't want to go crazy. They don't want to go breaking their necks at the rave or grave.
Mm.
They just want to sit down, relax, talk to a friend, and have some nice music, here and there. I want something for those people because that's what I've always wanted, but have never been able to find.
Mm.
And that's why I understand electro swing would be better in terms of getting into the mainstream and being, more a little more popular. Uh, but it goes against my ideological
Okay.
purposes of wanting to create a quieter VR chat.
Mm.
And this kind of circles back to CS:GO. Remember how I said in CS:GO, I saw people being less salty and less toxic.
Mm.
Well, I've seen the same here in VR chat as well. I've seen people at both my events and even when I'm just outright busking, I've seen people actually begin talking a lot more calmly and on a lot more intimate level than before. Um, I think the greatest memory I have DJing here in VR chat is when two people, they looked like a couple, I don't know, but two people, they just started slow dancing and they were really having fun over that. And it was a very sweet thing to see when VR chat's pretty VR chatty. And yeah, the effect of the music is real. I believe that very much. And I want to bring that effect to more and more people. And I want to be that outlet for the people who want more, I guess, sober things, more quiet things. I'm not denouncing, the raves or all that. I'm not
Mm.
saying you should shut those all down. I'm just saying I want something for people like me, for people who want quietness. There should be both. I want both. And so if I have to make the quieter ones so others will follow it later on, like I said, I still hope there's copycats. I really do hope people will start copycatting me. Uh, then I'll focus on that.
Mm. Well, to be fair, when you can't find
Mm-hmm.
something out in the world and there's something you want, it's a good time to fill the void yourself, and it may take quite a while before you see a
Yes.
copycat. You have to make something that people want to
Yeah.
copy, not necessarily
Yes.
uh make it what you want it to be and try and bring people to you. You may have to not do it like as straight like copying mainstream and forcing jazz into it, but instead hold hangout events with jazz as the background. Call it the Jazz Lounge. Hold like
Yeah. And
official Discord events
yeah.
and things of that nature. And over time,
Oh,
you could
yeah.
get there. You just may have to
Yeah.
re- brand it a little differently, I guess is a way to put it.
Probably, and I think that is the biggest issue. It's really hard to brand it. The best I can do is market it as like a social event. uh, because on that, I'm not really sure how I would brand it. Because like if I brand it as like a party, I don't want to bring posh people in. Uh,
Well,
so it's a difficult thing. It's taking a lot of
mm,
experimentation, and
well,
it is a long journey ahead of me.
well,
But I'm hoping to learn.
yeah. There are very different ways you could do it, and you may have to, as you said, experiment, look around. When I saw Jazz Lounge, I didn't think you were like referring to a channel. Initially, I was thinking like, as you said, hangout events. Maybe let's like some VR bar, You'll have the cigars and the trays over here somewhere, the leather couches
Yes.
and
Oh,
all that
I
shit.
would love that.
Now, I was imagining something
Yeah.
like
Oh,
that
I would
is
love
what I
that.
was thinking, and maybe
Yeah. And truth be
events like
told,
that, or more dating events within a
yeah,
jazz lounge world or whatever, with the Discord, maybe
yeah, it would be.
may help you bring to what you wish. It's a
Yeah.
focus more
And
on the
I will
lounge
admit that I think that's
than the jazz.
yeah. And that is a slight issue with the conduit, unfortunately, is I am, as you can see, I am trying to brand it as the jazz lounge. It is an event. It's for people to come in, talk with people, blah blah blah, and all things like that. But one of the reasons why I have to really hit home on the target of, meet other people, talk with people, jazz in the background, luxury, blah blah blah. It's because the conduit itself is it looks like a bunker from World War II. It looks like you're trying to escape the Blitz or something. And so I've been still trying to find an actual good jazz lounge to hold the jazz lounge at. But it's kind of hard to find one that, I can actually stream at. It's a difficult
Well,
process.
you may have to have the world made or make it yourself.
No, no, that scares me. Lily. I'm not really that good of a uh, Blender user. I tried it many years
Well,
ago,
there
but
are people out there that'll,
oof, it's too big
for
brain.
some money, make it for you.
Yeah, yeah, I know. They'll make it for you for a price,
Yeah, of course.
Uh, I have
Nothing
to
in this
save up
world
for
is free,
that.
but there are
Oh,
people
it
that
isn't. It
will
isn't.
help you out there. If you
Yeah.
can't do it, there are
Oh,
people who will. But if you can't afford the people who
definitely.
will, you teach yourself. It's one of the beauties of the internet.
That's
All
true.
skills and all things
It
you
is.
want to learn is right in the palm of your hand. Almost that little
It
device at
is.
the
It
palm
is.
of your hand almost puts colleges out of business. Because if you think about it in the whole scheme of things, you don't you have the little plastic and metal thing in your hand. You can just search a thing and you could find the thing. If you want to learn to weld, there are welding tutorials. If you want to learn to play jazz, there are jazz tutorials. If you want to learn guitar, there are
Yeah.
entire tutorials with frets in which you can learn to play. Anything you want to know, from tech to musical to whatever, is there, including Blender and
Exactly.
Unity.
Blender. Yeah. Interestingly, that is how I did figure out all the DJ stuff.
Mm.
I went to YouTube University. It is great. It's great stuff.
It is good stuff. Funny enough, my brother learned to work on cars through YouTube. He now works on his own
Oh
car. He
wow.
works on his own motorbike. He's got a garage. I remember when he used to do it in my parents' driveway, and now in his house he's got a garage, an entire workshop. His car he works on almost entirely himself, all through YouTube. Never once went to school
Oh,
to be a
that's
mechanic.
splendid.
So if a
Splendid
young teen
indeed.
can teach themselves to make a car, you can easily learn learn Blender.
Oh, definitely.
Although I've heard horror stories of people
Definitely.
wanting to rip their hair out, but
And this is the thing, he said, the issue isn't so much Blender, it's more of I'm kind of on the lazy side, and so
uh,
learning anything makes me go, no,
well,
no, please don't make me do this. So I guess that's why I'm trying to search first, so and have learned Blender be the last resort.
well,
But
to be
I've
fair,
already gone really far with the Jazz Lounge, so I may have to do that.
to be fair, when there's something you want, a lot of the time, you sometimes have to go against your need not to your want not to do it if you really want it to exist. And a lot of the time,
Yes.
it seems in VRChat people come in here to forget and relax, but they also come in here to forget about what's out there on the other side of that screen.
Yeah.
So
Well, you got bills to pay.
yeah,
That's
it's
no
almost the
doubt.
first. If it's not the
Ain't
first
no
already,
doubt.
Remember rent.
Bill's jump scare moment. Rent jump scare. Oh, scary.
Pay your landlord.
No, you can't do this. That's too scary.
But yeah, if you want this jazz lounge to exist, you may have to make it yourself. There's nothing wrong with that either. Like, to be honest, I've seen a lot of people build things here in this game that don't exist, and now they're a thing. You just,
Indeed.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news
I'm
to
just saying
present
indeed.
more
Sorry.
work, but the exact same point. To bring the world you want
No. More
may
work.
require work.
Yeah.
Shocker.
World works that way, doesn't it?
What the hell's work? I'm still pushing a broom. Oh, sorry, I am the broom.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if this is a thing you want to make exist, you don't do it for the copycats. Do it for when you go back, or when you a month ahead, a year ahead, when you look back at what you've done, there'll be some accomplishment there because you can see the tangible effects of what you've put in. It may not be monetary, it may not be in viewers, but it may be a world. It may be the fact that you have the extra outer skeleton of the world made in Blender and Unity, and you can see it for your own self. I did that.
That is true.
It's not.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's not
that's
always
true.
about what you can get from it, but what you can see you've done. Because along the way, you're gonna learn a lot more than just streaming. You'll learn Blender. You'll learn Unity. You may learn some patience. Who knows? Lots of skills could be learned from doing something like
Yes.
that. And you can look back at it and
Definitely.
point and go, "I did that."
Indeed. Can't deny that. There's a lot of good things, in doing the things you don't want to do.
Yes.
Eh,
Sometimes.
There's
It's
always
an
one-
interesting wisdom.
There's one thing I can tell you, like I tell my own kids. When you finish it and you're done with it, nobody can tear it down but you. Remember that. They can ridicule the shit out of it, but only you can tear it down. I think of it the way I just said it. Anybody can ridicule, but you're the one that can tear it down. Meaning you're your own bad critic. But when it's all said and done, look what you've done. That nobody else.
Indeed.
You hear all these people, multiple people, just like you, think, "Oh God, that seems like a lot." But when you're done, look what you've done.
Indeed. And I think to add to that, and this is an adage that I've lived by, it's helped me a lot to do the things I don't want to do, is that, a lot of things are a lot easier than you give them credit for, They're not, or you're gonna be a lot more diligent than you think you were gonna be.
Yeah, we say it all the time. You're your worst critic. You'll beat yourself down.
Yeah.
You'll scare yourself shitless because it's not the idea that you don't want to do it. You're afraid that you're going to fail at it. Problem is,
Yes, but
are you sure you're going to fail at it? How do you know until you actually do it? You can't say that you
Indeed.
failed if you don't finish it.
And I'd say 90% of the time, I think for most people, once they, jump into whatever they've been afraid of, they find that, even if it is hard, that it's still not as hard as they thought it was going to be. It's going to be, it could be waist high, but it wasn't like drowning them in difficulty.
Yeah.
That's right.
A lot of the time when people imagine like a new skill, learning a thing, or maybe going to an event when they're not used to people, the scariest part is what your brain works it out to be. It's not the fact that there are people there.
Yes.
A lot of the time with like parties when you're socially anxious, a lot of people aren't going to know you're there. If a party specifically, they're going to be drunk, talking to their friends, and not that, "Oh no, I'm going to crash. Ooh, I didn't die. Hell yeah, I didn't die."
No,
I
you're
froze.
okay.
No, I froze.
Wait a minute. What the hell are you doing over there?
For a
Are you
second, I
sticking
thought I was
cotton in your mouth
crashing.
again?
I thought I was crashing for a
No,
second.
on my end, I froze my whole headset warped a bit. It's like, oh, yep, VRChat's telltale signs of death.
And he's done it more than once.
But I did.
So
I'm alive.
he's alive.
As long as I know how
That's
to
okay,
live, I
Mama
will
B.
survive.
Mama's gonna be happy you didn't die, and she don't have to clean you up no more.
Yeah, because Mama can kick my ass this time instead of laugh.
Well, that's true. Yeah, true. Most mothers will.
I forgot what I was saying
Oh,
beforehand.
I don't
'cause
either.
I do have one thing to say
Feel
we
free to
do-
say it.
in a
What's that?
I do have one thing to say in a very meta sense. Oh, careful with the king.
Mm.
When it comes to my progress so far, I would say in a very, and this is going to be very meta because we're recording it right now. I think even being like interviewed by you right now has made me feel really good about the progress I've been making. Because, like I said, this is the very first time being interviewed for anything in terms of a celeb. Well, maybe not a celeb. I think it's a little too high praise for myself, but for like a social media kind of deal, you know.
Hmm.
So I'm really honored by that, and I think that is a good sign that the Jazz Lounge is going somewhere. If I can get here and be interviewed, you know.
Well,
So I'm very happy for that. Very thankful that someone saw the Jazz Lounge and wanted to interview.
well, I saw you. Just to let you know, I hang out in the self-promotion section a lot of the time of every Discord server I'm a part of. Just like, is there anyone here trying to get anything out that seems cool or interesting? And all due respect, the jazz music and hardcore techno Discord stuck out a lot. It's like, that guy.
It
That's
does,
the
doesn't
guy.
it? Thank you. I know. Now, I will say there is one I kind of compromise. I do, but I wouldn't call it a compromise because I do like it. It's still fun, and I still think it follows the ideology that I'm trying to lay out. I will play a lot of jazz covers of contemporary music.
Hmm.
I've got a jazz cover of Your Song, Piano Man, Seven Nation Army. Seven Nation Army in jazz really gets the crowd, pretty hyped up. That always makes me smile. I've got a jazz version of I Want It That Way. That's fun.
Hmm.
And one song, if I'm ever feeling mischievous and it looks like the crowd is like really deep in their conversation, I love to play Jazz, Never Gonna Give You Up. Yeah, I love it. I love it because it always takes people a few seconds to figure out what it is. Because they hear it and it's the smooth jazz wind, oh strangers to love,
Yeah.
and you know the rules, and so do. And because it's in jazz, people don't immediately recognize they're being rickrolled. But once they figure it out, just the whole crowd within the group just you kind of hear it. They go, oh, like I do it, and then just like immediately start listening, like, oh, here they go. They're gonna start saying, oh, any moment now, like. So my meme nature still is there from the CS:GO days. I still do that. There's still a
Actually,
little
what you're
playful
doing
element to
is,
it all.
I'll give you a little bit of a heads up, young man. Is you've done
Oh, sure.
something that caught their attention, and you did it in a different form that nobody would think of doing it. And a good example is that, because we did something in school and we won an award for it, is there was Pride Week for our school. We did everything upside down. The whole thing we did was upside down. Everybody got a section on the wall, and you were supposed to do whatever to bring pride up and everything and getting everybody all fired up. We did it upside down. You had the ability to make the people stop, look, or listen to what's going on. And you've got it. You just said it yourself. Just stopping what you just said and think what you can do playing no matter what it is and flipping it into jazz form. Look at it that way. Now you'll get people's attention. Because what amounts to is they're going to stop and have to listen to the song and then think which song it is, and then going, wow, I never thought of listening to it that way. There's different ways to listen to music in all different forms. It don't matter what it is.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's just how
And
you throw it out there.
And it's a little hard though because I try not to advertise that I do jazz covers though, because one of the best things I really love personally is people coming in and being surprised by the covers themselves. Like that's why I don't advertise that I do jazz covers majority of the time because I want the people to come in and hear it for themselves and hopefully have it like spread
Mm-hmm.
through word of mouth. Go like, yo, this DJ he played jazz, Fortunate Son. Like
Mm.
so that's really fun. So I do intermingle like some standard jazz or jazz hits, uh, and even some jazz memes. This is really silly, but I have on occasion, very rarely, on occasion, play the "Life's Incredible" again by Michael Giacchino, and so when we'll go to the next song, and then it just goes ba-ba-da, bum, ba-da-da, bum, and it's the Mr. Incredibles
Mm.
uh, montage
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Can you imagine taking AC/DC and making it sound like jazz?
oh, I should look into that, see if I can find that. That would be
That would be. Yeah, you'd have to stop it. Yeah, thunderstruck in jazz.
I'm sure it's
I'd
done.
stop just to listen to it. It's
I'm
probably somebody's
sure.
done it, but I'd be dumbfounded. I'd sit there and listen to the whole thing just to see what it sounds
Uh,
like. It's
the
attention
closest
getter.
thing the closest thing I've got to that right now is All Along the Watchtower in jazz. Yeah,
Mm.
well, it works pretty good, honestly.
Hmm.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I definitely need to get more jazz into rock. That would be great. Most of the stuff's pop into jazz, so yeah, definitely a lot of things. The library has to grow. It's always growing.
Mm.
So that is the good thing about having all this time to grow is that I can start filling up the library more and more and more.
Well, sometimes the slow growth is better than fast growth. You become more prepared over time versus overnight.
Oh,
That's no
definitely.
shit.
Mm.
I know that for a fact. That's a big fact. Take small steps. Smaller steps end up with bigger steps, and you go a lot further, and then you actually stand back and go, wow, look where I got.
Believe the quote
Been
is.
there many, many, many times.
I believe the quote is the longest journey always starts with little steps.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, indeed.
Well,
And good luck, and you'll get there.
mm.
I definitely think you'll get there. You got my
Oh, I
peak.
appreciate that.
I got my you got my peak interest in it. I'd like to come down and see what you got. I really do.
Mm.
Because I listen to all kinds of music. I used to work on doing drawing and doing body work with Beethoven or Chopin. Can you imagine out pounding dents, listening to Chopin? Yeah, people look at you. Are you
Uh,
nuts? Walk into your shop and you got Chopin playing in the background. What the heck's wrong with you?
well, I
Nothing.
mean,
Because you're
you gotta
concentrating
admit,
on what you're doing. You're
yeah,
concentrating
you
on
gotta
what you're doing.
though, Chopin's military Polonaise is pretty good. It's got a big beat to it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does.
Well, thank you very much, Lanzer, for joining us this evening.
Yes, I
Afternoon for
appreciate
you
you being
guys.
Thank
here.
you for having
No
me.
problem. Is there
Oh,
anything
we
you'd
love
like to
having you.
anything you'd like to plug?
My plug. I have two things really. I'll once again plug that if you want to catch me on Twitch, which is where the majority of the Jazz Lounge is for whenever I'm not doing VRC events. You can join. You can follow me at Lanzor_Roznal, and not only that, but within that is the Discord server, so you'll be able to join the official Jazz Lounge Discord server. And through there, you can find out about VR chat events, chill out VR events. I'm kind of going through a lot of places with the Jazz Lounge, trying to find my spot. But the core of it is the Twitch stream. And, if you're ever like doing homework or, I don't know, needing to listen to background music, there's the Jazz Lounge with your host, Lanzor Roznal. And the final plug is this is Shogi. It's better than regular chess. Please learn Shogi, and that's about it. Oh, and watch the World Shogi League matches. Thank you.
Not a problem.
I think that's it.
Have a good afternoon,
Not
guys.
a problem.
And remember,
Take care, folks.
look out for the coats.
Look out for the coats, and if they're jazzing in white, just keep going. Just keep wiggling your ass. You'll find that beat.